Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the out because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hope you all are doing lovely today, because I would say on a Wednesday evening when you should be listening to this, but it's not guaranteed that you are. But I hope you all are doing lovely today, or tonight, or this morning, or whenever. I hope you're doing lovely. So just a little recap of last week. I talked about self discipline and building it and how it is not my friend. Yes, it is not my friend, but we are working on it and we're going to become besties in 2025. But if you did not catch that episode, pause, take a step back, and go check out that episode. Y'all, I ain't did that in a minute. And if you don't know, go check out the first few episodes. Because I love to pause, take a step back, and go check out the other episodes. Yes. But check out last week's episode. You can learn a little bit about my journey to self discipline and how I'm, maintaining and learning how to become friends with it so that I can learn how to love on it so that it can love back on me and we be good to go. But yes. So this week to continue with the theme of season 1 of personal growth and self-development, or did I say that right? Personal development and self-growth. See, I mixed it and mingled it a little bit, but that's all right. But to stay on the topic, try to make sure my hair looks nice. But to stay on the topic of personal development and self growth, I want to talk about good pain versus bad pain, y'all, because I came across a clip and I feel like I've heard the saying before, and I'm pretty sure everybody has heard the saying before that is it love is pain or pain is love or something like that. And then some people, when you see them, they say love should not be painful and all these other things. And so I kind of want to go through that because on my journey, I really have been paying attention to the good pain and the bad pain. Or when you're in school, I don't know if it's like psychology classes or what, where you learn about good stress and bad stress. Good stress can actually be very good for you to help you get things done, but then bad stress can cause you to have heart disease and high blood pressure and heart attacks and stuff like that. So I want to talk about that because I really have been learning, that all aspects of our life is going to lead to some type of pain, but it's on us to decide if we want it to be good pain or bad pain. And the reason why I say it's up for us to decide is because we do create our realities, right? So we have the capabilities to have good pain in our life or bad pain in our life, or just so to say, good stressors versus bad stressors. So I just want to go through that because, like, on this journey, of learning and discovering and things like that, or just paying attention to my body, my heart, my mind, my soul, my spirit. I have been learning like the things that I've been doing to put myself through good pain as well as bad pain. And, you know, the good pain, of course, leads to a good result in the end, but that bad pain only leads to more trauma, so to speak. And I don't even want it to necessarily go onto a word so heavy as trauma, but it only leads to more problems that you end up having to fix in the long run. So I just want to talk about that. So, productive pain is something I came across. Chat GPT be helping me out a little bit. So it named the good pain as productive pain, which is stretching beyond your comfort zone. So something that is going to help you to grow and evolve is to be able to do things that are going to make you uncomfortable. I think when you get stuck in that comfort space, you become I don't even know how to say it because I don't want to say it's necessarily bad, but if you get stuck in your comfort zone, then you stop growing. And ultimately, it's going to end up making you feel some type of way because I genuinely think as human beings that because if you think about plants, animals, everything, life cycle, like they're constantly growing and changing and doing something like acorn gets planted into the ground and with the water, sunlight, oxygen, and all this other stuff becomes a whole goddamn oak tree. Like the stretching beyond the comfort zone of that little shell, I can only imagine what it had to do to push outside that little shell to become a big ass oak tree. And I don't even know if it comes from an acorn, but you know, it sounds right. But it's just like everything we look at in nature starts out as one thing, grows and stretches beyond its comfort zone, as we can see, to become so much more that it's only right to assume that we are supposed to do the same thing. So the moment that you get stuck in the comfort zone, that is where you can possibly breed depression or anxiety or those things that are going to make your mind race or you to constantly think about when you were doing something different. So it's just like you want to be able to get outside of your comfort zone so that you're not stuck there. And so productive pain is going to help you to do that. And then it also helps when you have the hopes, goals, dreams, aspirations that we mentioned last week in last week's episodes that you want to achieve. You have to be willing to do something different that may go against something you're comfortable with because the person that's standing over all the way over there with your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations, they did not have the same habits that you had over here. They have completely different habits, whole new habits, habits that you didn't even know you could possibly have that you have to develop. And it's not going to be the most comfortable, but it's going to help you get to your goals. So, the best way I can describe it is with that goddamn GRE that we all know that I did not want to take, but I took it. But like, that for me was the most uncomfortable thing, which is crazy because school has never really been something that was super hard for me to grasp. But once I got to a certain space in high school, then in college, like I just stopped caring about really being intentional about how I handle schoolwork. So with the GRE and having to study for that, especially when Dejanay ain't never been a girl to study. I ain't never studied for not a nothing. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in an episode before. I was the person that could go to class, do my homework, do all like I guess homework for me was studying, but do my homework, make sure I'm participating in class, I'm raising my hand, answering the question. Like that was my studying. And so by the time it was time to take a test, I'm getting A's and B's, maybe a C and maybe a C depending on how hard the stuff was, but I'm getting A's and B's because that was my way of studying. So the GRE, because that was not a class that I could take. Now, granted, did they probably offer different things online to study or help you study and stuff like that? Yeah, but that shit costs money. Who finna pay? Now, granted, I ain't gonna hold you. Right down there behind the camera is my little bookshelf thing on my desk. It's like 3-fold GRE books. So I was spending money. But it's just like, one, who's going to spend the money to be in a class? Who's going to take time to do that when I'm not in any longer how am I trying to say? I'm no longer in school. So like to be in a class, to be intentional about setting aside time to study and stuff like that all just was so uncomfortable. And the craziest part is I would start every year from 2020 of me graduating to 2024, because I guess I took it in 2024, of me taking the test. Like I would start studying damn near every year and stop because of how uncomfortable it was to, one, feel like I didn't know shit, two, not have the help because I didn't have like a class I could go to, three, there was no homework. I mean, I could do homework in the books, but there was no homework, and I had to teach myself this stuff, and then I couldn't ask questions. Like, I'm the type of person where I'm not gonna always have questions, but when I have questions, I'm gonna ask them. So not being able to have a teacher in front of me to ask questions, to be able to do homework, like all the things that cultivated and aided into me getting good grades in school, I had lost all of that. So studying for the GRE was outside of my comfort zone completely. So when I finally decided to take my, was it the month or 2 weeks? I don't even remember how long it like I locked in, but it was not the smartest way in which I did lock in, but that's neither here nor there. Like that's neither here nor there. But when I finally did lock in, I made a plan. I stuck to it regardless of what the hell was going on. So if I didn't get to study the 5 sections that I had set to study for the beginning of the day, when I got off of work, I made sure to do it at the end of the day. Although it might have had me up until 2 o'clock in the morning, and now I gotta go sleep. And by the time I wake up, I can't do much. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't. I didn't do none of my yoga, didn't work out. I just woke up to study all over again. I was studying so much, my brain was hurting. Like, I ain't even gonna go through all of that with y'all because it's somewhere in another episode. Go listen to it because shit made my head hurt. It made my head hurt, y'all. It was hurting. But, like, that was so uncomfortable for me. And it definitely pushed me outside of my zone, like, comfort zone. But I was able to take the test. Again, I didn't do as well as I would have liked to do on the test, but I did way better than I thought I was going to do on the test. And then it gave me the possibilities of applying for schools that absolutely needed that test to be on there just for them to consider your application. So it's like me taking the 2 weeks or the month or however long I studied like real hard and focused and everything, me taking that time led to me being able to apply for schools and have my applications considered and stuff like that. Granted, I'm still waiting on the answers from the schools, but without that test, I wouldn't even been considered by the schools that I'm being considered by, because that test was essential for you to even get to the admissions board for them to even consider your letter of rec, your statement of purpose, your resume. None of that mattered without that test. So I had to suck shit up. I had to suck it up, guys. Suck it up and really put forth the effort to take that test so that I could do that. So, did my brain hurt? Yes, my brain was like, bitch, go to sleep and don't wake up ever. But I'm up. But it definitely was like over me. Like the day of the test, it was like, girl, don't do that ever again. So I think productive pain is always going to be essential to getting to the goals in which you want to achieve. And that's just with the GRE. This working out thing, y'all. Now, granted, it's been better because I've been consistent for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I've been consistent now. But do I still have moments where it gets to that time of me working out and I be like, do I really want to? I don't know. But like, that is stepping outside my comfort zone because I haven't been consistently active since I was a cheerleader in high school. That was 2020, no, 2016. I don't know where I was going to take myself. That was 2016. That's almost 10 years ago that a real nigga was active consistently. Now, when I got to college, my freshman year probably was the most active of all my years because I was on campus and I didn't have transport. So I would just walk around, and I was learning the campus. So I would walk around and go learn where the classes, well, the buildings and everything was. And then I I love the football players, and for some reason, them college football players they be hitting, even though they go to the same school with you, they be hitting. So I would go by the stadium to see if I could catch a glimpse of anybody, like while they was at practice and stuff like that. So I'll be walking around the school, learning the buildings and everything. Then I'll walk by the stadium just to see if I can catch, some eye candy going in and out of practice or whatever the case may be. And then like there was times where I would walk to Publix because the Publix they had a Publix like right there by FSU. If you like walk through the little cut or whatever, you could like walk from campus to Publix without having to be on the main roads. There was like a trail. So I would walk there. Like I was the most active freshman year. And then after that, all that shit died. Like I got a car. I was taking the bus if I wasn't driving the car, like, because I moved off campus. So baby, active was not my thing. So now getting back to being active is so outside my comfort zone. My my legs, but I think everybody's legs just be like, fuck all this shit when you start back exercising. But my legs have been, and they're good now. They have their days where these quads be like, grass, sit down. But getting back started, everybody know that little ugly walk you got to do when you do legs. When you get back started, I had to do that walk for a hot little second. I had to suck it up and do it. But the goal of this is to hopefully lose this gut. This sitting right here that won't go nowhere. Lose this gut and gain some muscle. Lose these arms. I'm tired of these arms being army, like armish. I'm tired of these arms arming. And so like that's the goal, is to, decrease the fat. Now of course none of this gonna mean nothing without the food side of it, but I ain't even finna traumatize myself and talk to y'all about the food when we done talked about the food enough. Y'all know my relationship with the food. We gonna work on it. We gonna work on it for 2025. We gonna work on it. But yes, that is productive pain. Just to give y'all some examples. So it says that destructive pain, because that's what they call the bad pain, would be staying in harmful situations. I'm pretty sure we all know a little bit about destructive pain. I'm no stranger to destructive pain. And I'm getting better, y'all, with destructive pain. Now granted, I didn't leave the destructive pain that soon, that this time like I did the time before. I left that one really good. Now granted, did I leave it or it was mutual? It probably was a mutual, but I left it first. Y'all, I'm so good about leaving. It's just my comeback game be so strong, it's crazy. Like I be good at leaving destructive pain, but then I be like, ooh, I need more. Like, ooh, I need more pain. And so I end up going back. But luckily God be closing that door because the niggas don't never respond. And I just be like, thank you God, because you knew I didn't need no more destructive pain. Cause I ain't call it destructive pain, but you knew I didn't need no more destructive pain because, your girl be in here going through it. I be going through it. But we all are very aware of destructive pain, whether that be, staying in a situationship, relationship, marriage, whatever, longer than you should, or Let's be real. We're Americans, right? So eating shit that you have no business, like y'all, I am working so hard. I'm not even gonna say I'm trying. I'm working so hard to not overeat so that my stomach can stop kicking my ass, because baby, my stomach be like, bitch, give it the fuck up. Like, you know, you can't eat nothing else and you keep eating. Like, stop. And now, I'm not crazy with eating. Like, if you see the amount I eat, you'll be like, Deja, what did you talk about? But my stomach be over it after a few bites, and I'll keep going. Then when I'm laying in bed at night and I can't fucking sleep because now all this shit need to come out my body, I be like putting myself through unnecessary pain, and it's just like, girl, like, you legit can be okay if you just chill the fuck out. Like, for real, for real. And I'm like working so hard. Like, I didn't overindulge today. Now, I did have some popcorn because at work they be doing like little things, activities for the patients, clients, whatever you want to call them at the rehab facility. They be doing little things for them, so they be having food and stuff. So like, I be like, oh, food. I like food, but like today I didn't overdo it, and it could be because they only have popcorn. You can't really over. I mean, you can overdo it with popcorn, but I didn't really overdo it. I only had like two little bowls, like the little cereal bowls of popcorn, and that was it. But like the Dejanay before would have kept going because dead stomach just went, and it didn't mean nothing. But I'm working to learn how to listen to my body so that I'm not putting myself through unnecessary pain. Because baby, when you gotta wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because your stomach is on some get this shit the fuck up out of me, you be like, why the fuck did I do that to myself? And so, like, that's honestly right now the pain that I've been inflicting on myself is like the overeating. And I low key think it's because I don't have a man in my space to inflict any other pain onto myself. And that's crazy, is because I shouldn't be thinking about inflicting pain on myself in general. But, you know, to be real, I'm just trying to be real with y'all. I'm trying to talk my shit. Just be real. It's like low key, like, I think the reason why I'm inflicting this type of pain is because I don't have another type of pain to inflict in myself. And I'm working on not just like inflicting bad pain on myself, like, because I am building a loving relationship with myself. And although pain is love, pain is not destructive love. It is productive love. I mean, it is not destructive pain, but productive pain. And so I am working to change the pain I'm inflicting on myself in the sake of saying I love myself. Because before it was like, oh, well, people never give me the things that I want. So I want to always be able to give myself the things that I want. So if it comes to mind, I got to give it to myself. But that's going to be destructive if you're not doing, giving yourself good things. So if I want the extra 2 or 3 bowls of popcorn after I already had two, knowing damn well that I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night, like, that's destructive pain. And I don't want to continue to inflict that onto myself and then think that I'm going to be able to tell myself I love myself. Like, bullshit. It's not even, that I can blame that on anybody else either. I can't blame it on a person because there's nobody there. It's only me inflicting that onto myself. So at some point, you have to change the relationship with yourself so that you're not completely destructive and destructing of yourself, but you're being productive and you're pouring into yourself. So, like, I want to get out of the space where I'm like constantly hurting myself, because that's when I'm gonna know that I'm doing like the real work, the right work, that I'm not just harming myself. So even now, I was just talking to a friend from work. I was telling him, like, I don't even watch TV as much now. Do I scroll on social media? probably to supplement, maybe, but I'm productive and scrolling. Like if you go through my social media, you're very rarely going to see anything that's not going to be productive. So although it might be destructive pain a little bit because I'm just aimlessly scrolling, it's productive pain a little bit too, because, well, it's not productive pain, but it's productive because I'm learning something in the midst of me going, like, just aimlessly scrolling. So it's just like there's like pros and cons, but I haven't just been looking at a TV show where I'm not getting anything out of it. Now, granted, could I turn it into content and maybe talk about the shows or something like that? That may be an idea. Who knows? But I could, but I don't be doing that. I be wasting time, and I be like just laid out in the bed, so bored that I end up scrolling while I'm watching that, which is even worse. Like, it just ends up being so destructive because it's killing time, it's killing motivation, it's killing the need to move and do something that I need to be doing. And so, like, I'm like getting, like, working to get out of that phase. Now, the only time I really catch up on my shows is on the weekends when I'm not at work, because in during the weekday I don't turn on any TV or anything. I may catch up on some stuff on YouTube, but for the most part, I'm like doing my workout. I just started reading a book, A Return to Love, which low key I've been thinking about, in the middle of each season doing like a book season where I can go through the book and dedicate chapters to the book and really talk about the book. So we'll see how this works out. If I finish this before the season is over, then I will definitely dedicate the next season to A Return to Love, because that's the first book from a vision board that I'm doing. So that's like, I'm waking up, read that this morning, I do my tea, I do my workout, and then I get ready for work. But on my off days, I'm like catching up on TV shows. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be like washing clothes and stuff like that. So just working on being productive as possible, but chilling, because I think we still need rest time and reset time. So, making sure that I get some rest and reset time, but, definitely maintaining, good stuff, and still continuing to get outside of my comfort zone, even on my off days, because that is essential. So, I want to talk about what good pain looks like versus bad pain. So, different signs of good pain could be that it challenges your mindset, it leads to personal evolution, and it involves temporary discomfort for long term gain or outcome. Well, long term gain. And then signs of bad pain is it repeats the same cycle, it causes emotional or physical harm, and it feels draining with no positive outcome. Oh, another sign of good pain is it pushes you towards your goal. And the last sign of bad pain is it keeps you stuck in fear or self doubt. So I can definitely tell you that throughout this whole journey of everything, like, I literally have been in and out of both. And I think, honestly, in life, you're probably going to be in and out of both. I think you just want to rely on more of the productive pain than destructive pain, because that would be ideal. But I think life is gonna have you be in destructive pain, just because your brain is so used to patterns that, one, being cognizant of the pattern is hard in and of itself, and then being cognizant enough to change the pattern is going to be hard as well. And then you kind of, depending on the situation, you may get triggered and revert or regress back to doing the things that would have caused you that destructive pain. And so it's just like you're gonna have probably seasons of good pain and bad pain, but the goal is to ensure that the pain that you're inflicting on yourself is more productive and helping you get to the goals that you have in mind, or helping you to reach the things that you would like to reach. Because if you're not doing that, but you have goals and you have things you want to accomplish, but you're not doing that, then you're going to feel like a failure, or that you're disappointing or letting yourself down. And it's enough people around us to let us down for us to let ourselves down. So definitely got to take that into account when you're going throughout life and you're figuring out, okay, should I do this consistently because I know it's going to get me to this place, or because I'm so comfortable here, should I stay here and do this? Like, it really just depends on the goals. Now, if you don't have goals, then maybe you're okay with the destructive pain because you're not trying to get to nowhere different. Or maybe you wouldn't even consider it destructive pain. But if you have goals and you know that the habits that you have now are not helping you to get to those goals, then you're going to have to develop some of that productive pain. But like, as far as like, that destructive stuff, repeating the same cycle, causing emotional, physical harm, like I just said, y'all, I be causing myself physical harm every time I eat more than I should. Or I've been noticing if I eat spicy food before I eat anything else, that's going to kill my stomach too. So being mindful of getting a meal in before I do anything spicy, getting something in my body before I do anything spicy, so that I'm not having, like, my stomach is not, getting bent out of shape to get the stuff out of my body. So just that stuff. And then not rushing into dealing with people. I'm probably going to be a hermit, isolated for a little bit. And I'm not even isolated. I just really don't have too many hobbies that get me outside around men to where I can attract men. But, you know, not rushing into that either. And it's that one easier said than done. That one is easier said than done. But, not rushing into that either, because I don't want to keep inflicting the pain of abandonment onto myself. Because if you have an abandonment wound, baby, you're going to inflict that onto yourself more times than not. And that is a wound that when you keep picking at it, that shit do not feel good. I don't want to keep inflicting that emotional pain onto myself. Like, where as soon as I get somebody in my grasp, they leave out. And it's like, you have to understand that, everybody's a seasoned person or a long term person, but that still doesn't stop the pain from hurting, And so you move off of old habits or off of the fears and everything like that, and then you end up pulling somebody into your orbit that's only going to leave out quick, fast, in a hurry, just when you thought you had them. Just I don't even know what I'm trying to say, y'all, but I don't want to keep putting myself through that emotional turmoil. Like, do I get that everybody's not going to stay? Because if you're looking for the one, it's going to take probably a couple people before you get to the one. Unless you're just willing to commit to the person in front of you when they come, and then you don't have to keep going through the ones. You could just grow and evolve with the one in front of you. But if that's not the case, and you're trying to make sure that this person aligns with you and is headed in the direction in which you're going, or has the same goals as you and things like that, like, that may take a couple times. And being able to develop new habits of maybe boundaries, or slowing down, maybe not having indoor dates and stuff like that. Stuff that I'm pretty sure I've talked about before. Making sure you're doing those things so that you're not inflicting pain onto yourself. Because trust me, I have definitely rush the gun. Is that how you say the saying? I don't even know. But I have, like, moved fast. Well, even when I knew not to, or told myself that I shouldn't be, moved fast and ended up inflicting pain onto myself. That, and it's always a different type of pain, which is so weird. Now, granted, in between guy number two and this last guy, them people in the middle, nah, the one before that, before the last guy, them people in the middle, if you understood where I was going, them people in the middle, there was not a lot of pain there. I think the only thing for me is like, I at least thought they would have been around longer than they was, but they wasn't. There was really not a lot of pain. But them last two, like the guy before, like I literally told my sister them, I felt like I was being tortured. I felt like I was being tortured. Now, granted, I wasn't, and I was being extra, but like low key, I felt like I was being tortured. Like he questioned everything that I did. As soon as I walked inside his place, it was like, "Oh, why you said it like that, or why you did this?" Like it was like really nitpicking at every little thing that I did. Like that shit bothered me. On top of like just I don't know, something was odd. And then he lied a lot, like about stupid shit, like just lied. Like I really felt like I was going crazy. Like I don't know. And then the last dude was just like, it was very explosive, and it was explosive in a way that I didn't expect for it to be explosive, especially because when you're on this healing journey or self-development, personal growth journey, you think that as you start to do the work and everything, that your options may get better, or at least I was thinking. I'm doing the work. I'm uncovering the things. I'm doing the things that my options was gonna start getting better. Baby, ever since I started this journey, they have progressively gotten worse. And I don't know when that shit is gonna like, cause if you're on YouTube, you will see my hand. But if you're listening to on Spotify or something like that, go to YouTube so you can see my hand. But my journey has been like since I started healing, because I was like up here when I started dating. Since I started this healing journey and learning about myself, that shit has did this. It has plummeted all the way to the ground. I don't know when it's gonna start going back up. It beats me. One would have thought that, it would have started going back up once I started doing the work, but I don't know. It's like progressively getting worse. And I just don't want it to keep getting worse. I don't even know how to get out of this destructive I don't know how to get out of this destructive pain. Like, and when I tell you it's getting worse, like it's getting worse. And like, Lord, I hope he doesn't see this, but like I went from having commitment to emotional unavailability to being somebody's friends with benefit. Well, I don't even know how you describe it, but somebody booty call to like a one night stand to like this is so off topic. Y'all know I'd be going off topic, but like to wait a one night stand to a liar and a bully, so to speak, because I felt like he was bullying me, although it was like in such a short bit of time. But it was like a liar and a bully to a verbal abuser and a overly anxious attacher to now a married person. Like it's just like how the fuck? Like what the fuck am I doing? Like because it's gotta be me. What they say, common denominator. Like, what am I doing? Like, low key, I do want to talk to the people that be like, you already track. Because I'm trying to, I be trying to believe it. But then I be trying to figure out, okay, what is it about me that is starting to attract shit? What is it that is attracting shit? Like, I literally went from somebody who was willing to commit to all the way to a motherfucker that's married. Like, yo, like what about my energy is screaming, send me, like, I just be want to know. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's the bad pain. Like that I keep finding myself in when it comes to like relationship shit anyways. On top of like I don't, I don't even know. I just that really just took me all the way off. Like I just realized like literally my men's options have progressively gotten worse like through the years. And I don't know if that's because like they're helping me to uncover shit that maybe somebody that was a on a the good side of things. I don't even want to say the good side of things because I think everybody has a good and bad side of them, but like somebody else just wouldn't have helped me uncover. So maybe I needed the shit so that I can uncover some stuff, but like it is progressively getting worse. And not even like the looks or the character or anything like that. It's just the circumstance. Well, okay. It's maybe the character too, but it's like the circumstances just progressively have gotten worse. Like, I don't know what it is about uncovering your shit that is just going to cause more shit to come into your space unless it's just like a domino effect where they're just gonna help you to keep uncovering shit until you've uncovered a lot of stuff. I don't know. Like these are the questions that you have for God that you just really trying to figure out. Like, okay, God, what's the purpose in this? Like, I'm trying to come up with a purpose, but like, what's the purpose in this? But yeah, yeah, repeats the same cycles. I don't even know if they're the same cycles at this point, baby, because I'm not even repeating the same. Like I'm telling you, like they literally progressively get worse. I just don't like what the fuck. I'm sorry, y'all. I went off. I so went on a tangent. My love life is just so depressing. But yeah, it'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better. I'm sorry. I had to tell myself that because when I'm looking back at this episode and how I just went really negative, I had to go positive. It'll get better. So some questions you can ask yourself to navigate pain and to make the right choices. Um, One of the questions you can ask yourself is this pain leading me somewhere better, or am I just suffering for the sake of it? And then another question you can ask yourself is, what am I learning from this experience? Something else you can ask yourself is, do I feel empowered or depleted? And then the importance of, oh, hold on 1 second before I continue on. That do I feel empowered or depleted question, and let me go back into the tangent of my love life because my love life is all. I think everybody's love life is always going to teach you a lot of shit. Not just your love life, but any relationship is going to teach you a lot of shit. This last situation, it really. I'm in a space now where I genuinely would stay to see what we can figure out. If it's not crazy, I want to stay and to see what we can figure out. And I genuinely think that's marriage because once you commit and you say those vows, you're staying to see what we can figure out. What can we make work for the rest of our lives? And yeah, what can we figure out together? Like, and that's the space where I'm at with men in general that come into my space. Like I'm a lover girl, so I'm probably gonna be not a serial monogamous because I feel like that's the way they describe it is like you just like to go from relationship to relationship. Like I'm not trying to do that. As long as it's not, abusive I want to be in something with someone committed to see what we can figure out. And the last situation, I had that mindset. And if I had this question right here, do I feel empowered or depleted? I probably would have walked away from that shit so much sooner. Like, y'all, like, I felt depleted after the first argument that we had, which is insane because the first argument should not make you feel depleted. I felt depleted then. Then he came over to my home for the first time. We had another argument and like I felt depleted. When I tell you I was balled up in the corner of my room and I just looked at him and I was just like, yo, you are not safe. You are not safe. And the fact that I still continue to deal with him months after because I had the mindset of let's stay here and try to figure it out. Like, let's stay here and try to figure it out. And like the fact that these questions would have been so beneficial then. I mean, hindsight 2020, they would have been so beneficial then because even the first one, is this pain leading me somewhere better or am I just suffering for the sake of it? Like, I was hoping that that pain of, you know, letting shit come up for me was going to help me to get to somewhere better. And by the end of it, I just felt so depleted. And it was only, I want to say, we had to have started talking sometime in April, all the way to sometime in October. In that short span of that time, the depletion was crazy. Baby, I didn't even know I could be avoidant. I was avoidant. And I like there was moments where I really tried to have conversations and really tried to do the things, and it was like we were just bumping heads and just missing each other, that the shit just felt so depleting from the first day. But I have the mindset of I at least want to try and figure it out. Like, let's try to figure it out because when I get into a relationship with somebody, when I commit to somebody, when somebody puts a ring in my finger, that is gonna be the motto. Let's try to figure it out because it's till death do us part. So, with having that mindset, although I was being depleted, although I was, you know, going through the suffering just for the sake of it, in my mind, I'm thinking this is me trying to inflict good pain onto myself. And that shit was not good pain. Like, that shit was so destructive. In the little bit of time that it was in my space, that like it it took for it to almost get like physical for me to be like, bitch, fuck this shit. Like, and then that also shows you like how much you really have learned to put up with or to accept as pain or love or whatever you want to call it throughout your lifetime. Like, had it not gotten to something remotely physical or borderline physical or whatever you want to call it, I would have still been sitting there trying to figure it out for the sake of suffering or whatever. I would have still been trying to figure it out. And we still would have been doing this. Like, we still would have, and I would have still been trying to figure it out. Because to me, the arguing, the, he would, now, I don't talk down on people. It takes a lot for me to get to that space now. Back then, when I was younger, this mouth was flippant. It was very flippant. Was I sarcastic? All of that, yes. But now, it takes a lot for me to call you out your name, talk down on your character, do all of that stuff. It takes a lot for me to do that. What's crazy is I allowed him to do that. And my excuse for it was, we're not gonna cry. My excuse for it was, oh, well, it's no different than what my dad did. It's no different than what my brother does. It's no different than, the men around me that claim they love me or whatever the case may be has done. So why can't I, I can handle this. Like, it's not like I'm not used to it. So like I allowed that to continue to go on. But now what I don't allow and what I will never tolerate is anybody putting their hands on me. And not to say he put his hands on me, but he like grabbed at my dress and pulled it. And it took for that incident for me to be on some fuck this shit. And even still, y'all, after that incident, I still like put myself back in this situation because that wasn't enough to be on some completely cut off. Now, I definitely wasn't on some I'm going to still give you all the access to me like I was previously, but like it still wasn't enough to make me cut it off. But then in my mind, I'm just like, okay, if you're going to do this, and then like the whole incident happened on his birthday. So I'm like, if you're going to do this on your birthday, you're going to do all of this. And then the disrespect just was crazy. Like, it just was an amalgamation of things. It's crazy to think of our pain tolerance. Because now we're talking about pain tolerance, right? It's crazy to think of our pain tolerance of why you will sit in something that is destructive pain, because like the pain tolerance we have dealt or have like built up for destructive pain is so vast for some of us. Now for me, it probably ain't that vast. The moment you actually put your hands on me, you're gonna die and I'm gonna be in jail. So like it ain't that vast. But like allowing somebody to talk down on me or talk about me and not cutting that shit off immediately, like being able to accept that, because like for whatever reason, or you know letting somebody sorry, like it just, you literally see the results of it in movies and stuff like that. When if you keep letting that situation go on, or even in real life, if you keep letting that situation, like you see the results of what that can lead to, but it's not really prevalent in your mind until you get like this close to what you can't handle. And I know for me, I can't handle nobody putting their hands on me because I've never had nobody put their hands on me. I was not a fighter. If I got into fights, there were very few and far in between. I'm not a fighter. Will I play hit people? Yeah, but like real deal, like mm mm. So it's like my pain tolerance for words though is like up here. Like I have become so good at feeding him to myself that honestly, when people say the words or whatever, I just be like, that shit don't apply to me. But it's like, I shouldn't have to have that mindset. It should be the people in my circle around me should edify me and help me to feel like I'm just as big as I think I am, and not I have to fight your words extra hard with my own words so that I can make sure that I'm believing what I tell myself, because at some point that's I'm gonna get tired of having to contradict everything somebody around me is saying because they keep feeding negativity. I'm like, that shouldn't be a thing. Like the pain tolerance, I gotta work on changing that. Like I gotta get more hurt by some shit. So like after the first time that shit hurt me to my core, I gotta get the fuck ASAP right now. Like, but it's just like I gave in an excuse for it. It's just like, well, I'm already used to it. So it's not like this is anything new. I have people around me that swear they love me and they did the exact same shit. Like, and that be the shit. Like, yo, like, you be like, well, shit, I done did it before. I could do it again. Like, I done had to do it my whole life. I can handle it now. And it's just like, no, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't want to. You shouldn't need to. You should create a new standard where it's productive and not destructive. Like, that is not, it's not conducive to nothing that you're trying to get to. If you're trying to get to something different, like, it's not conducive to anything. So like that's something that I'm like learning and working on, is, my pain tolerance around shit, letting people slide with shit, like developing things so that you don't get away with shit that people from the past, like, and I think that's another reason why they have progressively gotten worse, so I can learn how to develop these things so that I can possibly implement these things to the people around me, like my family and stuff like that. Because if I learn how to set, now granted, setting up boundaries with randos and family is two completely different things, but it's like if I can learn how to set up this boundary or ditch this person or whatever the case may be because of my self-esteem and my worth and everything like that, I shouldn't have a problem doing that with the family members that do the exact same shit. Like, you learn so much from these relationships because they mirror back to you the shit that is going wrong or going right in your life. Like, they mirror back to you everything you done already been through. Like, if you really pay attention to every relationship you done had, they remind you of something in your family, or at least mine have. In doing all of my self development and growth and reflection and all that stuff, everything that I've gone through has reminded me of something from my family. Different pieces, different aspects, and like I'm slowly, and I think that's the part of healing in relationships, is you slowly get to take that power back with these new people, although you may not be able to take it back with your family members, or don't know how to take it back with your family. You get to take that back with these people if you decide to. And maybe that's the reason why new people come into your life with the same old shit, so that you can learn to take back your power and push their ass to the side. Because all of the shit that doesn't transpire with men, like, has transpired at some point in my family. Like, whether it's the same scenario or different scenarios or whatever the case may be, like, it all has transpired. And so it's teaching me how to take back my power and not put up with this shit. Like, and so like I am slowly working, like, this is the first dude in a while or ever that has talked to me like that. And so yeah, it probably was gonna take me a bit because I hadn't dealt with, like, outside of like family stuff, but I haven't dealt with nobody that talks to me like that for me to be on some hold up, hold the fuck on. He was the first person, so like the time it took for me to grab my power back, it took a few months, but like I grabbed that shit back, and I'd be damned if somebody else is gonna take that. The moment you get slick out the mouth on some bullshit, like, I don't talk down on people. Like, I'm I can trust me. This tongue lethal, and that I ain't even gonna say that part. But like, this tongue lethal, and I think honestly a lot of people got lethal tongues if you use it. That's why, what is it? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. This tongue lethal. I will kill you with these words. So like, I know the power I hold. I try my best to not talk down on anybody. Now, the one thing that I do that I know is really that pushes up against, people's spirits is the raising of the voice thing. But I do my best to not try to talk, like, call you out your name, talk down on you, talk bad about anything you got going on. Like, I do my best to not do that, because I know what it feels like to be done to me and how it makes me feel. So I do my best not to do that. Now, the raising voice thing, that shit don't make me know. Never mind. So it's hard for me to really take that into account when I'm like in disagreements with people, because if you yell at me, that don't scare me. My whole family, we yellers, so that don't scare me. But I am realizing that some people are not yellers, or that yelling traumatized or triggers them because they had to deal with yelling in their family. So I'm working on that part. But yeah, that don't make me know. Never mind. So, but I'm just learning. Learning is the best thing you can do in life. We are all students and teachers all in one. Like, we're students of life of ourselves, but we're also teachers of life in ourselves. Like, I think that there's a beautiful duality to being a student and a teacher all in one, because you can listen and learn when necessary, but you could also guide and direct and things like that, like, in a whole nother breath. Like, there's such beauty in that. So I know, for me, I just am learning myself and working on teaching people about me and learning and about others and stuff like that, so that I can navigate others as well, because it's necessary. Like, even just going through that, I didn't know that, those tears were going to come up. Like, granted, I had thought about that thought before, that I allowed, old dude to do whatever for as long as possible, because I'm just like, well, I got my brother over here telling me to get rid of this nigga, but it's like, shit, you do the same shit to me too. So, like, and I allow you to still be in my space. So why should I just get rid of him and he doing the same shit you doing? What? Because you I don't know you longer. Like, so sometimes it'd be so hard to even regulate off of that. Like, it's just like, well, I keep you in my space, but you do the same shit as them. So what, should I get rid of them and you? Or like, it's like a double-edged sword. But yeah. So, and then it says, the importance of listening to your body and intuition is making decisions about when to endure and when to walk away. And honestly, I got to the point where I knew when to walk away. Like I said, on my birthday, I slipped up. On my birthday, I slipped up, because you be missing people and you just be wanting to have birthday sit. But, God, like I say, God take care of a real nigga, because whenever I walk out the door, he closes it behind me. When I walk out the door, he closes it behind me. So when I try to turn around and go to open it, he locks it. I'm blessed. Yeah, blessed. But yes. So on my birthday, I got slipped up. I tried to turn around and go back, but he ignored it, and I thank God for that, because I did not need that destructive pain back in my life. But you got to be able to know when to walk away, because although we can endure a lot, we shouldn't have to. And if it's, again, not helping you to get to the goals and everything, like, it doesn't do me no good to sit here and play with somebody when I want to get married and have children and everything like that. So I got to know when to walk away. You got to know when to hold up, know when to roll up, know when to run away. I don't even know if I'm saying that. You gotta count your money. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But the song. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to run away, walk away, all of that. Because if you don't, then you're gonna end up prolonging, yourself getting to where you need to be. Although it all is on time and you're in the right space where you're supposed to be, but it pushes back the timeline to you anyways. Like, of course, God know when you go get there, but to us, it's gonna feel like we pushing it back when we can, do the things we're supposed to be doing and everything like that. And then it says how to reframe pain as purposeful discomfort rather than suffering, which I've already been thinking about too, is like this pain of working out is necessary to get to the gains. No pain, no gain really is real shit, because without pain, you can't gain anything. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna say you can't get anything, but the gain isn't gonna be as lasting as it would if you did go through pain. Now, should it be again like that destructive pain? No, you shouldn't be abused. You shouldn't be, any of that, anything unhealthy. But baby, if your legs gotta hurt a little bit, or if your brain gotta hurt a little bit, because you gotta think a little extra harder. Like, if you gotta be uncomfortable for a season to get to something lasting, then that is essential. So as long as you see the pain as something that's gonna be essential to me getting to the place that I need to be in, man, I think you're gonna be a-okay with shifting mindset. Because I was just like, again, talking to my friend from work, and I'm just like, which pain do you want to choose? Because one is gonna be productive. Well, I ain't say it like that because I hadn't looked at this, but I was like, okay, you stay in your situation or you get out of your situation, but both are gonna be painful. Choose which problem you want to have. Like, choose which hard. Like, both are gonna be hard. Choose which hard you want to have. Like, and that's just really at the end of the day, which pain do you want to have? Do you have the pain of staying in the same spot, going through the same shit over and over and over again? Or do you have the pain of doing something new, getting to the shit that you actually genuinely want to get to, and enduring that just for a little bit of time so that you can get to lasting results? Choose which pain you want to have. I want to have the pain where it lasts for a little bit so I can get to my goddamn goals and dreams and aspirations. I don't know why I love saying those three words together. But like, I wanted to deal with that pain. Fuck this pain over here where you just gotta go through the same shit over and over again. It's like a day of Groundhog Day. I mean, it's like like a day of Groundhog Day where you just go through the same shit over and over and over again and just can't seem to escape it. Fuck all that. That shit's depressing. That's why people numb and they distract themselves with all types of shit, because that is depressing to just go through the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over. And this is why they say people don't like that, like when the relationship gets like, what is it, consistent or not fun or quote unquote boring. That's why people like to jump ship. It's like, no, like I feel like, yeah, you can have a season of consistency, but at some point you gotta shake this shit up, and not even a sense of unhealthy. Like, okay, what's something else we could be doing? What's something new we can add into the equation? Like, what can we do that's different than what we've been doing before? Because we love variety. Like, that's just a human thing to love variety. So how can we make this relationship full of variety so that I don't have to feel like I gotta go get this shit from somewhere else? But yeah, all in all, I genuinely think like, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Like, do you want to serve the productive pain or the destructive pain? Because it's ultimately your choice and what you plan to do with your life. And you may be okay choosing destructive pain because you're okay with numbing and suppressing and all of this good stuff. But if you're tired of destructive pain like I was, then you're going to work on providing yourself with more productive pain, where you're going to get outside of your comfort zone and you're going to do the things. Just like Deja's going to shoot her shots. Yeah, y'all, I ain't forget. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, pause, take a step back, and go check out, was it last week's episode? No, the journal episode. Because I'm going to shoot my shot. I don't know how many times I'm shooting a shot, but I'm going to shoot my shot this year and see what makes it in and what is an air ball. But like, we getting out of comfort zones. Like, we gotta be bent. What is it? The rubber band. You got to see how far you can stretch before you snap. And so I want to get far enough to right before I snap and then come back together. So, but yes, all in all, y'all, choose the pain that works best for you. And it's okay if you do go through destructive pain. I go through destructive pain all the time. It's human nature. It's that worldly side of you to go through destructive pain. But that godly side of you is going to make you go through that productive pain, and you're going to get to where you need to be. But y'all, I ain't going to hold you. I genuinely don't know if this episode made sense at all. I've just been rambling. And if you make it this far and you hear this, I'm just kidding. I knew what I was talking about this whole time. No, I'm just kidding. But low key, like, this whole episode was just rambling. I'm not gonna hold you. But I hope it came together for a beautiful purpose, because that was productive pain. Because I don't know what I done talked about this whole time. But I feel like it was productive. I got some tears, so I talked about something of substance. So, but yeah, I'm going to end it here because it is late. I'm ready to lay down and I'm tired. So if none of this made sense, I'm sorry. And if it did make sense, you're welcome. You're welcome. But yes, y'all, tune in next week to check out what else I have been doing to personally develop and self grow myself, because we've been doing all the things. Please check me out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you're looking at me on YouTube. And if you are listening on Apple and Spotify and all those places where you can stream this lovely podcast, go over to YouTube and go watch my video, because I think videos with podcasts are so much better because you get to see the expressions, get to see everything, and it works so much better. So definitely go check out the video. Please like, subscribe, comment, share anything pertaining to good pain versus bad pain. What cycles are you stuck in when it comes to bad pain? How are you implementing good pain? Because again, love is pain. It's just productive pain. You gotta be able to inflict good pain onto yourself so that you don't have to keep going through the destructive pain. It'll all work out in the end. So like, share, like, what are the good things you're implementing? Like, what have you abstained from, taken away, added to, whatever the case may be? What have you done to ensure that your goals are accomplished and you get to the things that you see fit in life? I would love to know. Share with me. But yes, y'all, I'm going to end it here. Can't wait to tune in with y'all next week. If you see me like closing my eyes, I low-key I'm so ready to go to sleep. But yes, you all have a great rest of the day, night, morning, whenever you're checking this out. And I will tune in with y'all next week at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. But if you don't check it out then I'll tune in with you whenever you check in. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the eyes. It's only one eye. When we drop the eye, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Bye.